are on the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast. I am your host, Mark Ross, and with me this afternoon is Nir Bashan. Did I say that correctly?
You really did. That was awesome.
I appreciate that, my friend. You are a speaker, you are an author, and you are a creativity expert, correct?
That is correct, sir. That is my life's calling.
All right, that's what's up. Before we talk about your books, let's talk about you for a minute, Nir. Um, let's give me your backstory. And I know you gave me a quick one during our initial interview a while ago, but just for listeners' sake, share your story with me and what led you to pursuing writing your books.
Yeah, definitely. I've always been fascinated with creative people because I see that they do really well. The business world is full of great ideas that people come up with and really cool products and services that are just constantly evolving and getting better and better. And for me, what I found is that the common denominator of all those things is creativity. It's innovation in action. And so I started many years ago looking, hey, there's got to be a book out there for creativity, right? Let's read this book. I'll know what's up and move forward. And there wasn't. There was a lot of creativity books, but most of them were filled with, either academic stuff like for a classroom or, just kind of pats on the back. Look at me. I built this company and ha ha ha. Maybe you could do it too, but look at me, that kind of stuff. And so I decided to write a book called The Creator Mindset, which was released in 2020 by McGraw-Hill, and it was a bestseller. It did really well. It's on a top 100 nonfiction book of the year list. But then I was like, man, that's what it's a really good book and people love it. I get emails from around the world, been translated into a bunch of different languages. But I felt like something's missing. And that missing thing came from the feedback that I heard from, different keynotes I've done, different companies I've worked with. And Mark, the feedback was, how do I apply stuff now? Like I just need to read a few pages and then get meat that I can use right now at work because I have a shortage of staff. Right. I need to find good people to hire. I have, a shortage of capital. We need to find investments to, I don't know, fulfill a pipeline or whatever. I have credit issues, whatever it is that a particular business or somebody has. Uh, and so this new book is written exactly for that purpose. It is called The Solution Mindset. It's on Amazon, Walmart, Target. You can get it anywhere you buy books. It is in pre-release right now. And that book is an active solutions book, deeply, deeply rooted in creativity. And it helps people become more creative no matter what it is that they do.
In what ways does the solution mindset help people?
Yeah, so super great question, Mark. Basically, I looked for the people who need the most help, right? Who needs the most help on earth? And I looked at the issues that are plaguing humanity. Issues like pollution, issues like the prison system, which is horrible. Issues like disabled people and being able to find work, all kinds of healthcare, all kinds of major global issues. And I identified a group of people, sometimes it's one individual, doing amazing creative things to solve that problem. And I talk about it for a little bit in the book, and then I flip that over and show anybody, no matter what they do, from accountant to a person on a manufacturing line to somebody who runs, a shoe operation. I show them how to extract what they're doing to save the oceans and fix the environment. And I extract the same creative and innovative thing that they're doing that you can apply in your world too. So I took kind of the worst problems that we have. I learned people that are amazing people that are doing great things. And then I extrapolated that into easy bite-sized things that anybody can do. You don't have to be a genius of some sort. You just have to learn their process and then apply it to your own problem.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and you make a good point that, you know, our country is we're going through a lot. and and we need some solutions, you know. It's not going to be an overnight process for any of it, but we do need some, right?
100%.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I saw on your profile too that you are a brand advisor,
Yes.
that you served as a brand advisor, and you served for several big time brands like Porsche and American Airlines and Dutch Brothers. Uh, how did you get involved in that?
Definitely. So I've been working in the advertising world for forever. I worked in Hollywood for, a good long while, working in um, scripts and directing and stuff like that. I transitioned over to advertising because it's a steady paycheck, right? Hollywood would like, you'd get a big check and then nothing for 2 years, and then another
Okay.
big check, and then a little check, and then nothing, and then a little check, and you're like, where was that big check from 2 years ago? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I transitioned to ads because it was a steady kind of paycheck. I was mentored by some amazing people in the ad business and basically learned branding, how to work on brands, how to understand an audience, how to write copy and art that resonates with people, how to look at the financials and see certain gaps that are low hanging fruit. And it led me to work with some of the best brands on earth, and it's a deep honor. I absolutely love sitting down with a company or even individuals. Mark, I do a lot of consulting now, finding out what the pain points are and applying creativity to it. A lot of times people are very good at the analytics, right? They're really good. They can look at an Excel and tell you this is great, this is not going so great. We got to tweak this here a little bit and move that to the third quarter because we can't deal with that now. Brilliant at analytics, right? But sometimes people aren't so good at applying creative principles as to why those analytic decisions are going to work or are not going to work. And what I help inject is like that sort of out of the box creative thinking on top of the analytics to see if these decisions are going to make sense or not.
Mm, mm. So how does one change their mindset?
Ha, isn't that the question?
Yes.
I think, I think it's through the ability and the will to experience something different. I think the experience is where the input of that mindset and so on comes in. But what I really think that we need to do, Mark, is step out of our comfort zone a little bit more. And when we do step out of our comfort zone, we are open to receiving new, different, unique, and slightly, uh, you know, different input. And when we have that different input, we're able to kind of say, okay, maybe the way that I've been looking at it hasn't been exactly the right way. It doesn't have to be something earth shattering, it could be very minor. And having the ability to step outside your comfort zone really enables you to do that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, it could be difficult for a lot of people, I would imagine, you know, to really look at something and say, you know, I need to tweak this, uh, or I need to just stop doing it altogether because we're conditioned to accept things as what they are.
Yeah.
People like you come along and say, well, that's not always true. In fact, let me show you how to materialize that, you know what I'm saying, and make it work for you. So yeah, but and that's why I asked, how do you change a person's mindset? Because I we see so many people, friends or family that are so stuck.
Yeah, big
You know,
time.
and they accepted their role as what it is. Uh, you know, they wake up at 7, go to their lame job that they hate, and they just accept it, and they roll with it, come home, and just deal with their boring lives. They just accept things for what they are. And we need people like you to really come in and show them that there's a different way of living. You know.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is like, I'm a student of history. I'm a student of government and what we have going here. This experiment in the United States is, I mean, you could seldom find a better time to be alive than it is right now. And I know we're going through a lot. I know there's a lot of issues. I know, believe me, I spent, 2 years researching like the worst of humanity, but that left me, Mark, optimistic, believe it or not, optimistic. I think that we have the ability to, just by simply making some decisions, by stepping outside of our comfort zone, adjusting our mindset. And I don't think there was a time like this in history where anyone could do it. Yes, there was the Greek time, 3,500 years ago, but there's only a certain part of society that was able to be, philosophers and that kind of stuff. Yes, there was, a Renaissance in Europe at a certain time, but that was also limited to a certain class. Now we have anybody who wants to listen to this podcast, for example, and go, you
Mm,
know what? I'm tired of going to that same job and I'm tired of doing that same thing all the time. I need some input on how to change things up.
mm,
And just by their own strength and by their own desire to want to change, can
mm,
actually execute those changes. And that's due to a lot of things, but one of them is that we live in the most incredible country on earth. And, we have some of the best veterans and the best military people that have ever walked this planet who have given us that bubble, who have given us that bubble to say, you know what, I don't really like my job. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to listen to a podcast today. I'm going to take the long way to work. I'm going to call my boss and tell him, that I'm not coming back next week. You have that ability because of the wonderful and fertile grounds that we live in today here in this country, especially, but some parts of the West as well. You have that environment, and I think it's a dang shame to waste it, to waste those opportunities that we have here simply by saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to listen to the Mark Ross podcast. I'm going to get out there and change the way I want to see things, change the way that I want to do things. I want to, figure out how to speak my truth so that I can do what it is that I need to do. That's incredibly brilliant. We have the technology. We have, this wonderful thing. You didn't have it even 50 years ago. You didn't have it 100 years ago. You had,
mm.
five newspapers and that was it. Then when TV came along, you had three channels. I don't know if you're old enough, Mark, but when I was a kid, man, like after eight, right? There was nothing. It was all static. Like you would flip through four channels. You're like, there's nothing on TV. Like what? What am I going to watch? And now kids have phones, and everybody has 633 different channels to communicate on. We live in such a unique time, and I'm so optimistic that if we embrace creative principles and we look at creativity and innovation in new ways, I want to help unlock that in every human on earth so that they can go and speak their truth. They can go and find what it is that they need to be doing in order to live a more fulfilling life.
Mm, mm. Have you helped any veterans in your journey?
I have. So I've hired, when I wrote the McGraw-Hill book, they made me count everything. So I had to go through old HR paperwork because I told them in the book, oh, I've hired 1,000 people in my career. They're like, whoa, time out there. Like, we need to see, we need data on that. And I found it. I mean, I have it. And out of that, Mark, I love veterans, and I will hire veterans every single opportunity that I get. And I talk about it in the new book, The Solution Mindset. which is a Wiley and Sons release. It's everywhere you want to buy books. It's on pre-order now. Amazon, go get a copy. I talk about how one of the biggest untapped talent pool on earth for finding great talent is people from the US military, from all branches. Because people always tell me, Nir, it's so hard to find people. How do I get people to do this work or whatever? And I tell them, you're getting a resume from a tank mechanic, right? And you need a PM. Trust me, that's a good go for it. That'll fit just fine. Because a tank mechanic in the military looks at things in a very orderly way, takes this leads to that. If this happens, these are the three things that need to, and it's a very sort of structured mindset. And that would be a perfect project manager for a particular project that you're working on. But a lot of people are like, well, that's really risky. I say, why is it risky? They're like, well, that's too creative. That's too out there. If a person doesn't have this particular thing on a resume, then I wouldn't want to hire them. But I encourage people to take a chance on people out of the military because they're some of the best hires that I've ever had, and they figure it out, Marines especially, but everybody, they just figure it out. It's like, okay, how do I use this particular software? They figure it out, right? Because if you're in the field or whatever, you don't have the luxury of like, I'm going to watch a YouTube video and then go grab a cup of coffee. Like you need to figure it out now. And so I think historically, for me over the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, the military has been an incredible resource of really great people that do really great work as they transition to the civilian side. And I'm trying to get people in the business community, Mark, to embrace that a little bit more and start to think a little bit more creatively about a resume that might not have the exact qualification that they're looking for.
Mm. So what does it mean to be a creativity expert?
Wow. A creativity expert is, I think, somebody who's looking for solutions in day-to-day problems in new and different ways. That's what I think a creativity expert is. I don't think anybody ever arrives to that mountaintop. I think it's a lifelong journey, right? It's a lifelong journey of coming up with ideas and to solutions that nobody can unlock until people start working on it and get creative. And then I believe that anything can be unlocked.
So basically, you're the one that leads the horse to the water.
Right. But they got to drink it. Yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah,
gotta do
man.
work.
Yeah, it's exactly what I do. I mean, I'll give you a story of somebody from the book, right? That I really liked. It's a guy named Titawan Benacott, a friend of mine who is a surfer, right? He's surfed his whole life. And he goes to the same spot in Tahiti and he wants to surf it one day and there's no surf. So him and his friends dive in, they look at the reef and it's like, it's like bleach, it's gone, it's dying. So he goes home and does what we would all do, it's like Google it, right? He Googles it and he's got some ideas. So he goes and talks to the scientists on the island. There's all these famous oceanography schools over there. And they're like, dude, you're 16. Like, get a PhD, you know, finish high school, right? Go to grad school, get the PhD, write your dissertation. We'll see you in 15 years, buddy. Like, there's so much more that you need to learn. And he was like, you know what? God, I have respect for you, but no, I'm going to go and try it. And he did. And so he now has one of the most successful reef restoration companies on earth. They got, I think, 75 employees at the last count. They're one of the most successful people. And he ended up hiring some of the people that told him, you know, go go to school, buddy, take your time. They literally found a way to do it. So when you talk about leading horse to water, man, just start. Just start. And that's the title of the first chapter in the solution mindset on Amazon, wherever you buy books. Go get a copy. It's really, really good. It is on pre-release right now. It comes out December 30th of this year. But literally, that leading the horse to water, man, like, he just started. Did he know what he was doing? No. He figured it out and, through trial and error kind of made it happen, but he wanted to solve a problem that nobody else was solving. And he just figured it out and it became an amazing thing. And I think that he's not that special, that I'm not that special. that you're not that anybody can do it. It's not like, oh, he's some kind of genius in oceanography or engineering. He's not. He literally tied rope. Now they have like a special screen that they put the coral on to regrow it. But when they first started, it was like sea rope. Like they would just dump rope in, that he found on the side of the dock. The point being is that in order to be a creative expert, in order to be a creative genius, you need to try some of the ideas that you have. Mark, and we all have those ideas. We have to try them.
Mm, mm. So, what were some challenges you faced building your skill set in that profession?
Oh man, are you kidding? I've hit every roadblock you could possibly hit. In it, I don't know. For me, it's been a perseverance journey. Just believing in the quality and the power of creativity to overcome all odds. And I've found that it's been working and has worked every time I get stuck. Every time I get stuck, every time somebody says no, every time, a publisher doesn't want to publish a book, and you just keep going. And if it's true to who you are and it's true to your mission, then I think you can definitely kind of speak your truth. And that's really what it's all about.
Mm, mm, mm. Okay. So, let me ask you this. In today's society, social media, I think it pretty much reigns supreme, and it seems that people are doing whatever it is that they can. I mean, really, whatever it is that they can just to get a click or a like, you know. Uh, what are your thoughts about the way that social media is going?
Yeah, so in the book, the Solution Mindset coming out, Amazon, get a copy now, December 30th. Mark,
Mm,
I talk about social and I hate social. And like every single study that I found at any stage, especially in kids, though, super damaging, right? But even
mm,
in adults, and we talk about study after study after study that's shown that it is a damaging force in our lives. It literally is a poison, sometimes as strong as alcohol or drugs or anything
mm,
that you can get addicted to. And it's something that we unfortunately have to deal with. And for me, that pursuit of getting those clicks and those likes and all of that are really a distraction in somebody's own personal journey to find their truth, to find who they are, who they want to be, and what they want to do. And I think that the more we get off of social and the more we interact with people and spend time one on one or in a group or in real life, that's where the real benefits come. So for me, social is toxic. It's a necessary evil. I'm on it. I have a LinkedIn. I have, the Insta and all that stuff. Do I spend time scrolling through it? Absolutely. Sometimes I even get sucked in, and 45 minutes later, and I'm supposed to be the expert, right? 45 minutes later, I'm like, what the heck did I just do? Why did I waste 45 minutes? I could have wrote an article,
mm,
or like done something important. And instead, I looked at somebody's watch collection or, some TikTok dance thing or whatever. So I think we can all get kind of trapped into it, but consciously knowing it, putting boundaries around using it, and being moderate with it, I think can be really helpful. But yeah, I'm not a fan at all.
mm. Yeah. And you said something too that really speaks volumes about how we can get so sucked into it that it takes away your day. You know, it's like you could open your phone up at 12 and next thing you know it's 2. So how creative, but how create and you talk about creativity. How Just think how much more creative we could be with our time and our energy
Hmm.
with without having our faces in this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, the older I get and the more I publish, the more I speak, the more I meet people all over the country, I realize that time is our most valuable commodity, right? It's like our most valuable thing. Time with our kids, time with our spouses, time with our friends, time with our family. Those are the most important things. And literally, these things just destroy that ability to spend time on things that have meaning for you. And
Hmm.
when we give our time to something like that, we're making that decision. We make decisions all day. You are fully enabled in your decision making to decide what you want to spend time on. You can watch TV. You can read an article. You can spend it on social media. You can read a book. And so I feel like we shouldn't be so generous with our most valuable commodity. Like if I were to say, "Hey, Mark, you can be on my social, but you're gonna pay 150 bucks a minute," you'd be like, "What? No way!" But I'm sure that if people were to value their time over a lifetime, you'd probably be close to 150, 200, 250, $300 a minute. That's how valuable our time is, and yet we waste it away a couple of hours on some TikTok thing that gives us no value, or comparing on Facebook of how our neighbor's grass is greener and their kids are doing better, or how another veteran's doing better than me because he's got or she's got this thing going on, and look at me, I'm not doing anything, and on and on and on and on. And instead of using that precious and valuable time to do something that we really want to do, yeah, we scroll through here. It's toxic. It's no good, and it's something that I'm actively looking to change in people's behavior.
Hmm. I was just going to ask you if you've done that type of work to make people think differently about spending so much time on their phones, and because yeah, we get so caught up in it. You know, we're talking about people that don't even know us.
Yeah, they don't
They don't,
even
they
know that they're
don't-
addicted to it.
yeah, they don't even give a damn about you.
Damn. Yeah.
And people are sitting here talking about it. It's like, why? That dude don't know you. That female don't know you. They don't even want to know you. Give a damn about you. All they
Yeah,
care
it's
about
true.
is you press the button. Press the button. Who gives a shit? But so many people are falling for the okie doke. Follow me, follow me. Why?
Right.
What am I learning from messing with you? What are you teaching me?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, some of that stuff they found, Mark, is the same dopamine hit that like a drug or alcohol will give you. That picture or that click or that game or whatever it is. And it literally is playing on our humanity. It's playing on who we are as people. And it's quite frankly like super damaging. Um, Yes, and I am working hard to get people to change. So I have this technique in the book that I talk about, the solution mindsets on Amazon. Get a copy. Called being bored, right? And it drives people nuts. You're gonna love this, right? So it turns out that being bored in people is so traumatic that it actually elicits the same feelings of bereavement. So I tell people, okay, schedule a 15-minute block, and your listeners can do this, and it works, and it's epic. Uh, Schedule 15 minutes sometime next week. Pick a date, doesn't matter. And more than likely you're booked, right? Or you're triple booked or whatever. You got all this stuff. Take 15 minutes. If you wait, you'll never find time. Open your calendar right now. You're listening. If you're driving, don't do that. But when you get a chance, and then pick a date next week, Tuesday, the whatever, I'm going to schedule 50 minutes. And you call it me time or MT if somebody can see your calendar right at work, right? You don't want to like me time, right? You want to put meeting with MT. People will be like, oh, who are you meeting with? You put that down, 15 minutes, okay? And then what you do in that 15 minutes, Mark, is you shut your phone down, right? You close your computer and you sit there for 15 minutes and you're bored. And we found the same reactions of bereavement in that 15-minute period, right? People get angry. Oh, I can't believe Nir told me to do that. And then they start bargaining. Well, if I take the 15 minutes here and like maybe apply it, I could do a little laundry, right? And then it go through the five stages of grief, right?
Mm,
Um,
mm,
and then ultimately we arrive at acceptance, and you kind of accept the fact, okay, cool, it is what it is. I'm bored. And we've timed that in a group before, Mark, and we found that that whole, five stages of grief goes by in about 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. We go on this roller coaster of emotion because we're so used to input nonstop everywhere we are. Input. Mark, go to a baseball game, dude. Everybody's on their phone. You're at a
mm-hmm,
stadium.
mm-hmm,
Everybody's on their phone. Go see a basketball game. Go to a kid's football match. Like a high school game.
mm,
You're like, oh yeah, you're looking around like everybody's like this. And so we're so used to that distraction, and we're
yeah,
so used to that, to having that when we try to be bored and not do anything for 50, we don't know what to do with ourselves. So after that 2 minutes or so cleanse,
yeah.
right, you have 13 solid minutes of your brain relaxing and able to solve problems. And it's amazing what comes up. You're like, oh, my wife or my husband, I forgot to do this for their anniversary. And then you have the thing, oh, my kid, oh, and then eventually some of those ideas will go to work. Oh
Mm-hmm,
man, at work, what a great idea. I should do this because that invoice system that we use is horrible. This will really help. Cool. I'm going to try that. Right. And when we get in a habit of detoxing from these toxic devices, we enable creativity to happen right away. If your listeners do only one thing that they've heard on this podcast today to help them become more creative, just take 15 minutes out of the rat race and allow yourself to be bored. And you will see that amazing things will begin to happen.
mm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. So, what's next for you in your journey, Nir, in terms of your books, your speaking, and your preaching the good creativity word?
Yes, sir. So I'm really excited. The book's coming out in December, The Solution Mindset with Wiley and Sons. We're gonna do a signings and a book tour and all that stuff that's coming up towards the first quarter of the new year of 26. So that's really, really exciting. I'm still doing a ton of keynotes, different events and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm really excited. I have a incredible article coming out with Psychology Today that's with the editors now. It's going to be really great. It's about how we're our own worst enemy, right? And how to like just start to take all this weight off of your shoulders for goodness sake and like accept that you are your own harshest critic. Great. How to move on from that, right? Established. Now what do we do? And I kind of talk about, steps that people can take. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, man, I got to get out there and doing the great work that you're doing, Mark, with veterans and PTSD and all the incredible things that you're doing. It's like it's a mitzvah, it's a deed of worthy and worthwhile praise. And just doing things to make things a little bit better for our fellow human beings here on Earth. That's my calling, and I know it's yours too. I'm so excited that we got to chat today, and I'm deeply honored to be on the show.
Thank you so much. How can people reach you, Nir?
So I'm available. There's three Nir Bashans in the entire world. One guy keeps uploading video game clips. That's not me. It's NIRBASHAN, nirbashan.com. You can email me, nb@nirbashan.com. Yeah, and I'd love to hear from your listeners. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And my book's coming out December 30th called The Solution Mindset. Anywhere books are sold, you can get a copy right now. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you and see what you think.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much, Nir, for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
And much luck to your book coming out in December. and much success to your book that you currently have out. And uh, yeah, if you need to reach out to me or speak with me about anything, I mean, hey, you got my contact information, brother. I'm here.
Likewise, I really appreciate that, Mark.
Yes, sir. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast. Always remember, it's okay to not be okay. Just do something about it. With that being said, Nir, again, brother, peace
Thank
and
you,
blessings
sir.
to you, and peace and blessings to everybody else that's listening. Have a good day. Bye bye.